Hello and welcome back. My name's Jugger-Bird, and this is episode 2 of our Stellaris Let's Play. We're playing as the United-Jugger-Bird-Empire here. Only claimed a few systems so far, but spent a lot of time last time talking about our species as a whole. So we can go ahead, we can just hit play here and go ahead and get started. We are building mining stations up here. We have our first archaeological dig going. And there we go. Preliminary excavations indicate that the celestial object came straight down on top of a sprawling city. At the time of the impact, the inhabitants were at a technological level on par with early spaceflight. As Troydom 2 currently does not sustain any sapient species, it is reasonable to assume that the event was the beginning, the end of this civilization. It is unclear whether the giant rock landed smack on top of the city by design, or if it is just a bizarre, catastrophic accident. So for those of you that don't remember, the site summary, essentially we found this planet that had a large moon that just kind of gently landed on this planet, as gently as you can land a moon. So we were researching that a little bit. We have a tradition available, so we can increase our survey speed, which might be helpful just to get us to explore systems faster. Or we can increase leader experience gain and the leader level cap. So I think what we'll do is we'll do survey speed right now, just to increase our exploration speed a bit, since we want to get to these points here to for situation log, sorry, to explore these different kinds of devastated planets in order to complete the surveys there. Next up, we have 470 credits. So it'd only be 300 to remove the sprawling slums, but we're also running low on jobs here. And after we get one more pop, we'll have an extra slot available. We'll have the 30-person slot. But I think I'd rather build a district, and I think we'll build a generator district just to keep that energy credits flowing for us. We're doing okay on minerals, we're doing okay on food. We do have to worry about consumer goods, so maybe once we get that slot I'll build civilian industries, but we'll see. We did just complete this mining station here, giving us 6 minerals, which will be a lot. And then we'll get 4 physics research every tick, which will be really great.
Anomaly found.
The asteroid W112-677 is emitting some form of radiation in controlled bursts. Is something trying to communicate with us? So we'll go ahead and research that. It's level 1. I won't read every single anomaly. There will become a point where they're just popping up every, 2 minutes, and it's not going to be fun to take that break. But for now, I like it. There's some really cool, just like science facts stuffed into things, and just interesting stories that can be told. Over here, you can see that we're doing better. We rolled a 3 and then an 8, so things are progressing ever so slowly. I won't go on a rant about archaeological digs this time, I promise. We don't need to do anything with the market yet. Leaders are doing fine. Here you can see our species breakdown. So we're just pretty basic right now. We're slow breeders, which it just reduces our pop growth, so it's a negative 10%. You can see here, normally it's a 3% growth, but the planet habitability. Our homeworld, why is it only 90%? That's weird. Oh, right. It's not our homeworld. Haha, I remember.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Right. Hang on. Okay, so we'll pick a new science and then I'll... let's see. It's probably between these two. Let's do 20% food increase. I forgot the origin of our species is on a different planet. We're a lost colony, so we're not... Tropical worlds are our preferred planet to live on. Keep the game running in the background. But this is not our... Right. Okay. So... See, there we go. 2 reds. That's rolled 2 5s in a row. Yes, I just forgot the origin that I picked last episode. It's been a little bit of time. So yes, we're trying to find our home species and make some friends along the way. We're a little brutal. Like to fight a little bit. Yes, I remember everything. So that's having low habitability reduces our growth speed a little bit, and then also being slow breeders. So it's only 2.55 instead of the base of 3. So it just takes a little bit longer for us to grow than other species would. Alright, and our science ships are just exploring casually here. If he ever rolls more than a 5, then things will be better. Let's see. Oh no, we rolled a 4. This is why I don't. This right here. That's why I'm not a huge fan of the archaeological digs. Because it's just a waste of time for scientists. It's just a scientist dump. Oh, your scientists don't have anything else to do? Well, they could just sit here, rolling on this table.
System survey complete.
This is 450 time. I'm not going to spend that time. I'm going to let him level up because it's a level 5 anomaly here. But there's a small object in rapid orbit. Its small size and high velocity makes it difficult for our sensors to isolate. So yeah, we'll leave that for now. You can go ahead and survey this system though. That'll be another one of the planets off our situation log. Our disastrous planet survey. We could recruit a admiral, but it'd be a waste of resources right now since we're not fighting anything.
Breakthrough achieved.
We don't need to worry about it too much. We have a scientific breakthrough here. So we got our powered exoskeletons done, so we're getting 5% more resources from planets now, or minerals from planets. So next, it's probably going to be between zero-G refineries and geothermal fracking. Mining station input or output increase, which increases all of the ones from the space ones that we build. Or we can increase minerals from miners by 20%. I think we'll do the zero-G refineries because I think we might be getting just a little bit more. Yeah, so you can see it's broken down into base, which is 20. That's just like your difficulty income essentially. Stations, which is all the this one here, and then it's broken down into jobs, and then what's consumed by jobs. So you can see that our jobs are producing less. So if we just increase this by 10%, I think that overall, mathematically, and I could be very wrong. It's been a little while since I took math. Ooh, we rolled a 1. Perfect. So that's, sorry about that, folks. I had a little bit of a coughing fit there. Oh, so yeah, we found the desolate planet. A planet in this system still wears the fossilized traces of a past ecology on its sleeve. What could turn a thriving biosphere into a blasted wasteland. A special project has been issued to trace the source of this disastrous information.
Situation log updated.
But this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 reds in a row. That's no progress. That's a waste of months of time for Uvko here. Not gonna do this. I'm not gonna rant. It's okay. So yes, we'll have him survey the system here. Or Evely, she's a female, my apologies. And then we'll give the shift order to.
Found.
Oh, you're gonna leave that? Yeah. Signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization. So the precursors for us, for this species, is the First League. First League was a large federation of alien races that coexisted in relative peace roughly 2 million years ago. So the species came millions of years before us, and so we'll get anomalies to research them, and we'll give artifacts for them. Well, the anomalies will give us a situation, a special project, and then once we do the special project, we'll get the artifact. But yeah. Oh, wonderful. Will you see what's his chances? So he has a 50-50 chance of rolling above a 5. Because he's just rolling a straight 1d10 at this point. And so far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 5 rolls have been a 5 or less.
Construction complete.
Build our outpost here so we can get to building the mining stations and research outposts. Alright, so yeah, it's just, so now we have the population finished growing, so now we can build an extra building here. I really think that given our consumer good amount, or almost lack thereof, that we're producing the civilian industries here, that'll give us 2 more artisan jobs. That'll cut into our minerals a little bit because they use minerals to produce the resources, but it'll work out for us because we need both, and we're producing plenty of minerals at the moment.
System survey complete.
Alright, we surveyed a system here. So let's see. We could have you...
System survey complete.
I think we'll have you go here, because then there's 2 that we can do. Alright, cool. That did work. So, she finished surveying the system here now. So now she's going to be doing this, which will take 60 days about. We got administrative AI, so we got that 5% increase to our research speed, which is great. I think next, let's increase our research station output, just so that way we can stay at least with the curve, if not ahead of it. I like to be a technological species in some ways, even if it's for war purposes, just having better lasers, better solid state rounds, it's just that much better to be able to kind of not have to worry about a fight with the enemy there. Nothing I hate more than seeing other species with their strength is overwhelming or
special project
better.
Complete.
Alright. Life on the now barren planet was, sadly, doomed from the start. As if by some cruel stellar conspiracy, the dominant species on the planet barely had time to awaken to sapience and invent agriculture before, through unfortunate geological mechanisms, the Earth started turning sour. Samples from lower soil strata and the fossilized remains of the creatures that once roamed the planet show that several vital minerals needed to rejuvenate the soil ended up, through their largely agricultural diet, in the endoskeletons of the native beings. Their bones were prone to fossilize rather than decay, and their very existence exhausted the fragile ecosystem they inhabited, leaving it permanently transformed in the wake of their passing. That's actually kind of interesting. The stories that this game has are why I love it. I mean, this is just talking about how the species on this planet couldn't sustain themselves on their planet because the resources that they consumed were consumed permanently. I think... So we could keep exploring this way, but I think I want to finish this report and get the benefits, so we're going to try and send you this way. So let's go survey this system here. It's a little bit of backtracking, but I think it'll be worth it. Oh, we got 1 positive. I'm sorry, Uvko. I'm so sorry to leave you here. There we go, we got another tradition to pick. So we can either increase research station output by 10%, or again, we still have the leader experience gain. I think, because we're going to get all of these at first, right? So that's okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the databank uplinks to get the increased research from our stations. Just keep that going up as much as we can. Potentially habitable. Yeah, so there's an alpine world here. There's Titanic life. So it's really not habitable. If we try to live here, it'd be so expensive and so difficult for our species. It just wouldn't make sense. But we'll make do. In theory, one of these 2 might have a sustainable planet for us, if we can. But we'll see. It'll take some time to get there, because she's got to come across the entirety of our empire there. It's really fun to zoom out like this and see just how small, even taking multiple systems, how small we are in the grand scheme of the... That's why I play on huge. Alright. We're making progress, though. This is building. Things take a little while sometimes. That's another reason why I love this game. And we still have the
Anomaly
resources, so I think.
found.
And then sometimes like 4 things happen at once. So Volka has developed new skills. So he gets the custom AI assistant trait. Let's see what that is. And then they also found an anomaly, which is really hard, so we're going to leave that be for now. But we have the resources, so we're going to start removing the spawning sums after this. And then custom AI assistant. Research speed is up by 5%, survey speed is up by 10%, and anomaly research speed is up by 15%. That is really awesome. Good job. So that should make her overall a better explorer, better overall scientist for us, really. Same can't be said for Uvko here. Poor Uvko. Stuck digging and digging and digging. I mean, realistically, it is really hard to tell if a planet and moon just casually bumped into each other or not. But okay, so next for our expansion, we can either grab some science and work towards the energy credits here, which I think we'll do. Because the other option is just more energy credits, which we're doing okay on for now. So yeah, let's grab this science here. Oh, sorry about that again. Allergies are really bad today. So, as I was saying, or as I was about to say, I guess, one thing that I've learned with playing this is that since we can only travel along these lines against these connections between systems, it is possible to create choke points within your empire. That if anybody, see, there's a tomb world here. Wow. So that way, if you do go to war with your neighbor and they're pushing into your empire, you can find systems like Bintu here that are only accessible by 2 points, one towards your empire and one away. And then you can go here, you can claim it. Now that you've claimed it, nobody can really walk in without, open borders. Then 2, if you do go to war, you can then make sure that this is a high-ranking station. And then once you've done that, you can, oops, that's not what I wanted. You can go into the buildings here, you can add gun batteries, missile batteries, you can get hangar bays, you can build defensive structures such as communications jabber, the disruption field, basically make them bastions. And that's a different kind of label that you can get here. You have shipyards, which have your actual shipyard part, or you can build bastions, which are just really strong defensive structures. And the station itself can have more power than an entire fleet if you build them right. And they can just be, a blockade of a choke point where they have to get through there. Boka has finished researching here, so we'll send you to the system. Okay, so this one is a little bit above her pay grade for Evely here, but I think we'll have her research it. So, efforts to map the surface of the moon have identified a strange mountain formation in the southern hemisphere. It does not appear to have formed naturally. So, go ahead and research that. I think that's okay for now. And yes. So, Habitable World Survey. We now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Mighty Nest, our home planet. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Which is really funny considering that, part of us knows that we're a colony from another planet, or a species that exists. So it's funny that we get this. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds. So we can say commendable initiative, and we'll actually begin this survey event, or we can say we have more important matters to focus on and gain some influence. I think we'll do this. And here's what I'm thinking. Our species, deep down, knows that we were once colonists, or a different race, or a different empire, essentially, and that we've grown into what we are. Maybe, everyday Joe Schmo Jugger-Bird doesn't know. Maybe it's not taught in their history classes or whatever. But I like to think that our leadership, our government, knows. And so they're going to be like, nah, sure, guys, let's work on something else, though. It's cool, but let's look at something else. That's how I would see that going down. I could see Fabra just being like, yeah, no. So I don't really think that he would care too much about habitable planets. We're a warrior society, so.
Construction complete.
There we go, we've claimed this one, so let's build our research stations. Basically, the early game, I think, of Stellaris is interesting, but it's also, it's like two sides of a coin. It's really interesting because you're exploring a new, crazy, weird galaxy. It can also be the most boring because not a whole lot's happening, except for these event chains. So max extinction, chilly planet. Planet of interest in this system is covered in layer upon layer of dense ices and of varying composition. Ooh, I can read. Apparently, it was once home to more varied and pleasant biomes. A special project has been issued
Situation log
to investigate.
updated.
There's also a savanna world here. Cool. No tropical worlds, though, unfortunately. So go ahead, once you're done surveying the system, go ahead and perform that research. And the only reason I'm having a survey the system first is just to get that out of the way. You could do it in any order, realistically. And if I really cared about pushing us faster through this chain, I could just explore the system, which means they just go there. You see the system, do the special project, and then explore this system, do the special project. But I really prefer to kind of move out and explore and just get a good detail on the system. That way we know where to expand to. We know that if we want to grab the Savannah world, we can come down this line and grab it. We don't need it. Right now we can't really colonize it too well, but we could. Definitely here is slowly working out that anomaly. But Uvco here has gained a level, so now, oh, there we go. Finally, as I click on it. But I was going to say Uvco gained a level, which adds just 1 to every roll, which is really helpful. So, the main attraction. May go down as the biggest botch in scientific history. Oh, that's a good start. Deep core samples indicate that the center of the crashed moon was composed of highly pure metal ores. Highly pure metal ores. Emphasis. Coveting these, in defiance of all logic and sane engineering principles, oh, this is going to be so great, the population of Troidum-2 constructed an electromagnet of gargantuan proportions. Oh, wonderful. It seems their intent was to pull the moon into a closer orbit in order to mine its riches more easily. That always works in the movies. Sure enough, the magnet was activated and hauled the moon towards the surface of Troidum-2, but too hard and too fast. Pause. The inhabitants frantically tried to reverse the electromagnetic beam, but succeeded only in slowing the metallic orb's descent, not stopping it. The moon crashed into the planet with enough force to wipe out the entire hemisphere. In the aftermath, the dust and debris cloud from the impact blotted out the sun for decades, which eradicated all life on the rest of the world. What did they expect? Yeah, oops. But hey, bright side, we get all those metals. All that alloy is now ours. And, second bright side, Uvco is now free to actually do something useful with his life. So let's go ahead, survey this system. And the reason I'm surveying this system, not pushing out this way.
Anomaly found.
Okay, anomaly found. See, this is why I'm not going to read everything. We're going to leave this be for now. So, I think it's another precursor event, yeah. Generally, precursors are like 6+ on their difficulty, because they want you to kind of get them a little bit later. So, gigantic skeleton was previously thought to be assorted mountains. I think this is in Acrux here. Yes. What was previously thought to be an assorted mountains of the southern hemisphere of Acrux 2A have been identified as the mass skeletal remains of a single colossal alien life form. Bones have been dated as 3.4 billion years old, but our scientists have ruled out that Acrux 2A could have supported life on that scale. At any point in the moon's history, or at any point, basically it couldn't have supported life at any point in its history. I can butcher sentences easily. Science officer Evely has prepared a special research project to delve further into the mystery. So basically there's a giant skeleton on this planet, but the planet couldn't have ever supported something so large. So, once you're done surveying the system, I want you to research this gigantic skeleton a little bit more. So, all in all, but as I was saying, the reason I want Uvko to go here, generally speaking, I think within 1 to 2 jumps, and these lines here are jumps, of your home system, you end up with at least one, at least one, if not more, habitable worlds. And I don't mean habitable as in red, or, yellow. These are orange because I haven't surveyed them yet. I mean green, as in, generally speaking, it's the same world type as your home planet. So, since our home planet is a tropical world, that would make a potential planet next to us also a tropical world. Now, I don't know if, given our origin being that of a secondary colony to another species, if we don't get that benefit. But I want to find out, because if we can, it would be nice to have a second colony. Have somewhere else that we live on. So, I want to explore that. That's why I'm sending Uvko here. Once he surveys this, then I'll have him come back. But I just want to check this real quick, so that way I can continue having Evely here, follow this line, and go here to finish out our survey systems. Check out the planet here. So we're now up to 31. Perfect Jugger-Bird peoples, producing 12 consumer goods, more than we need to, per se. That's good.
Construction complete.
Alright, so then you, our builder here, grab this outpost. And I'll have them grab the outpost because I'm grabbing this one because I want to. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So survey the system. Not going to do that. So this is what I was saying. Next to our home system, just the last one we checked, is a tropical world, which we can colonize once we survey it, survey the system, and claim it. So I just want to know that. So the Evely now finished this system here, so we'll figure out the special project. We'll investigate that giant skeleton there. And then Boka here is performing her analysis on the Chile planet. So overall, things are progressing well. But like I said, the early game, an hour at a time, it's going to take a little while to really get anywhere. I hope that soon we can meet a neighbor who is, if not nearby, but close enough. So, mass extinction frozen. A natural shift in the atmosphere's chemical makeup resulted in the slow but irreversible onset of an ice age, one that began before the formation of the United-Jugger-Bird-Empire and is likely to persist long after our passing. Damn. The exact cause remains unknown, but probable explanations include failed terraforming attempts, or even intraplanetary terrorism. Some of the more radical elements within the scientific community on Mighty Nest suggest that a dramatic climate shift may have been brought on by the unchecked emission of gaseous industrial byproduct into the atmosphere. This view is confined to the scientific fringe, as it is unlikely that any race intelligent enough to achieve full industrialization would be stupid enough to accidentally wipe themselves out. Ooh, self-burn. Nice. So, now that you finish that, you can go here, survey the system. From the looks of it, should be a black hole system, which is really quick to survey because it's generally just a black hole, given that black holes eat everything. But we'll see. Just surveying this system. Yeah, so once we survey this system, I'll actually have Uvko here survey this system next, just because I want. Then I'll have our construction ship claim this system, and come back and claim this system, so we can start expanding our empire to a second planet there. Yep, it's a black hole. It's the Zorican black hole. Oh, and there's a barren world here as well.
Anomaly found.
So, sensors pick up unusual readings in the vicinity of the Zorican black hole, readings that are hard to explain being this close to a black hole. Wow. I think we're going to leave it be for now, because that is a long time. 223 seconds. I think we'll leave it be for now. But I'm interested that there's a planet here. Generally speaking, as I was saying, there's no planet there. However,
Complete.
this here. So, actually have to click the buttons. There we go. So let's see. Surveying the system.
System survey complete.
Yeah, this is UVCO. So let's have UVCO research the cold hard potential. Our science officer has found an anomaly. It will require extensive. No. Okay. Yeah. Something a little off about that.
Project complete.
After continued studies of the massive skeletal remains found on Ecrux 2A, science officer Ev Lee has concluded that the creature served as some kind of organic starship. Ooh. Much smaller bones from at least 3 separate species were found within the larger skeleton. We assume these came from members of the crew. For unknown reasons, this organic starship suffered catastrophic damage and crash landed on Ecrux 2A. While we cannot begin to understand the biological engineering necessary to grow a starship like this, the study of these bones alone has substantially advanced our knowledge. Awesome, so that adds 3 society and 3 engineering research to that planet. So this will be really good for engineering research, and then a little bit of society there. Alright, so we can go ahead and we can grab Polytechnic Education, which increases our leader experience gain by 25% and our leader level cap increased by 1. So, you don't have anything to do right now. You can go survey that system. You finish surveying the 2 planets there, so you can go survey this system. So I'm thinking Boka will get to at least level 4, hopefully soon. It'll take some time, but hopefully, and then have her come back and research some anomalies for us because she has this custom AI assistant. In the meantime, we're just kind of chilling, exploring, looking for new places to go, new people to meet. Mass extinction, broken planet. Our astronomers are confident that the asteroid belt in this system was once a habitable planet, torn asunder by unknown forces. A special project has been issued.
Situation log updated.
So this one,
Construction complete.
what they're saying is that the asteroid ring here was apparently a planet once. We'll have you do that research project when you're done. We finished building our mining station here. So unfortunately, given the anomaly exists, we haven't quite moved on yet. Okay, strength from small places. Let's read this. Having probed the frozen landscapes of the planet Hasala 2, we think we have struck something big. Science Officer Uvko speaks of a bacterial life form unlike any other. It bonds with other individuals to form large blankets that are durable yet light, and also act like solar cells. They absorb solar energy with a surprisingly low efficiency loss percentage, most likely a result of evolution favoring those who could gather more heat in the harsh climate. Our researchers back home could surely find some use for this information. So we can try and find improve our energy production, or try and find a military use. Given our society, and that we're a little more warlike, I think we'll try and find a military use for it. So that gives us a situation log. Or not. That's something that just happens. That might be something that just kind of happens after some time. But our construction ship is waiting. So the plan was to move here and then there next, which is unfortunate. Oh, there we go. Strength from small places. Our military development researchers have made progress with the samples we sent them from Hasla 2. They have reconstructed the biological solar cells and documented how they retain heat energy within themselves without taking damage. This has helped them develop a new defensive technology for our fleets. Sweet, so we get the research option, improved deflectors, and 30% of the research done on that. Awesome. So that gives us better shields. Technology. Yes, that'll give us better shields when we research that, which is great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you up there. It'll take some time to travel around because they can't travel through systems that we haven't explored yet, which is unfortunate as well. But we got time to burn. Let's see, we have...
Anomaly found.
Go ahead and research that because it's easy. Planet here, we're now up to 32. We have 2 jobs available. Well, we have the technician and a clerk. Housing is doing okay. So let's see. Food is starting to get low. Starting 2. I mean, 7 is still perfectly fine. As long as it's a positive number, that's all that matters. You know, people won't start getting mad until we... Even if it goes negative, we have some time to change it because we have the 1.4 stockpile. So what we're doing right now is just building a stockpile. But I still think building the agricultural district, just to have it... Oh wait. So, here in Orcum Fam, we found an archaeological site. Asteroid blast door. Collision with a smaller asteroid has revealed a small blast door or airlock. I'm reading something already. Extended slightly from the surface of V4-XN-94. It appears to be thousands of years old and had previously been concealed by rocks and dust. For unknown reasons, scans cannot penetrate the asteroid's interior, and the blast door is impervious to conventional cutting tools. To learn what's behind this door, the team will likely have to dig their way towards the center of the asteroid from the other direction. So essentially, really tough blast door. We'll have to dig through the planet, or the asteroid, to get to it. Cool. Sonified science. The Zikmit crew has succeeded in isolating a signal embedded within the unusual pattern of interference on the Ostyuk system. The signal is a song, complex sonification of an advanced mathematical equation to be precise, and one that science officer Ev Lee cannot seem to get out of their head. Who or what may have composed the song remains unknown, though its complexity infers an incredible level of technological sophistication regarding subspace harmonics. The signal's geodesics suggest a point of origin from outside our galaxy. Curious. That is very interesting. I think that was a lot of technobabble for saying there's some music in space that's talking about math, because music and math are related, and it's weird because you shouldn't have music in space. So, ooh, we discovered a strategic resource. During a survey on Orcum Fung 3A, the Eti Del An discovered, and that's way down here, discovered a previously unknown strategic resource dubbed Zro. It is an extremely rare aerosol of exotic particles that appears to have been deposited here through a meteor impact, but its true origin is a mystery. If ingested by psionically gifted individuals, this aerosol should act as a very potent and potentially addictive drug that enhances psi abilities. While we do not yet possess the means to extract this resource, we should seriously consider establishing control of their system for future exploitation.
Anomaly found.
Research that anomaly as well. Alright. Yeah, so you can see, like, we're really just getting started. Only 10 years into our game, I think. I think we start in 2100. Or 2200? I don't know. We're not far into the game. And, you know, things are popping up left and right, center, all the time. So I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to check the research time and just see if I want to keep researching it. which I think leave that be for now, because I want you to finish up there. Yeah, I want Bilka to finish up everything there, and then we'll see about doing the anomalies in the system.
System survey complete.
There we go. So we got Hasela finished surveying. So actually, I think what I'll do, I'll change your goal to here. Have you survey that, or control this, because we'll get this no matter what, really. We're not fighting for territories with anybody yet, so they finished their research on the anomaly here. We've discovered a thriving ecosystem in the upper atmosphere of the gas giant Ostiak 1. Massive floating creatures having evolved bodies filled with lighter than air gases. They follow the wind currents and feed off the energy released by the gas giant's frequent lightning storms. These beings in turn support colonies of smaller animals that prey on atmospheric plankton and each other. Cool. You can see it gives it the little atmospheric ecosystem buff, which gives it +3 society research. The game mechanics in this are pretty interesting overall. I really like what they did with it. I just have issues with some small details of it. Alright, so then our builder here will claim this system.
System survey complete.
So the reason... Alright, so we finished surveying the system. The reason why I don't build 2 builders is because to claim a system, you need influence and alloys. Now the alloys, generally speaking, we're increasing at least 10 per tick. It takes a while to really run out of them, but influence, you're only getting 4 per turn. So it really is a slow process to get... We're just going to set this orders here before I forget. So it really is a long process to get from, you know, to gain influence. It's a expensive resource. So when we spend, say...
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
So when we spend 63 out of our 115, it takes a while to gain that back. So we got our food increased. You know, I kind of want to do genome mapping. I think that's a good choice to increase our pop growth speed. It basically neutralizes our slow breeders effect, so it should help. Ooh, mass extinction asteroid. Oh, so they finished that. The asteroid is actually a chunk... Oh, the asteroid is in actuality a chunk of what was once a habitable and probably inhabited planet. Regular but overlapping fracture patterns indicate that the planetary demolition was intentional and controlled if somewhat rushed. All signs point to this planet being the homeworld of whatever species destroyed it. We may never know what drove them to consider planetary annihilation to be the lesser evil, and perhaps we should be grateful for that. Alright, so now that you finished that, I'll let you just research the anomaly here. 134, it'll be fine. I found a new dig site. Deja Vu Dig. Scans of Mouthula 8A uncovered an artificial chamber deep beneath the surface, its purpose and origin unknown. Magnification revealed an excavated shaft leading from the surface to the subterranean vault. Further analysis will require sending an expedition down. Okay. Our governor gained a trait. Environmental engineer, which is our clear blocker cost and time has been reduced by 25%. That's great. I mean, we've already cleared all the blockers, but well, at least on this planet. Once we claim a new planet, we can pop the sectors mode open here. So, sectors. You can see our
anomaly found.
I'm gonna pause real quick while I talk so I don't get interrupted again. Sectors are just a grouping of planets. you start out with one sector. Go to the actual sectors. There you go. That's the sectors. Start out with one sector, and it's a core sector. It's generally named after the first planet in the sector. So when you claim a planet, you can go to that planet. There'll be an option around here to instead of delete, I believe or maybe next to it, there's a like create sector option. And what that allows you to do is elect a governor from your leader pool to then govern that sector. And they give bonuses. Like for instance, our governor reduces the cost of blockers to be removed and the time it takes to do that. So we definitely want to take
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Hassel 3, and we'll rename it. We definitely want to take this planet because it has a bubbling swamp, which gives us gas extraction wells, which gives us the strategic resource exotic gases, which is used for a lot of things. So, next up for our engineering research, we can continue to increase our mining station output. We can get rank 2 guns. Kinetic, that's the word I was looking for. We can get rank 2 kinetic guns. We can increase our engineering research output, or we can get robots. I'm not too worried about robots. I think maybe just for our species, getting coil guns would be a benefit. And also, what I want to do is I'm going to start building a colony ship. So we can just kind of random roll. It'll give us a name that's, from our names list here. Oops. Let me pause. We can get a name from like our names list that's like all hypheny and weird, which is the name list I chose, or I can type in my own. I think I keep trying to move. So I'm curious because this planet it's tropical, it's nearby, it has a swamp. So we can probably try and name it something along those lines. I wonder, I think it should end in nest. So I think like, oops, that's the equal sign. Dash nest should be like the last thing. I think that's kind of like our naming scheme for planets. And I think that having something, let's see, it's got, a lot of sectors for mining. It's got, so we could, possibly call it something like a mining nest. We could have it called something about the fact that it's our first colony nest. So there's options. I'm trying to think of what I would say. Would probably be good to turn it into a mining world, which is where we just build a bunch of the mining districts, build buildings to help increase mineral production. So we could call it something, and then we can also build, alloy refineries, civilian industries on it. So maybe like production nest, resource nest, mining nest. I don't know. We'll come back to it. We can change the name later. So I think what we'll do for right now, if I think of something, or if you guys think of something, so we'll call it Hesela Prime for now. Then once we actually get it colonized, because that is a process. You build the ship, they go there, and then they sit there for a while. So once we get it colonized, then we can kind of think of a name for it. And if something comes to me in the meantime, I'll write it down. But as things are going, it's a long Let's Play. It's a long series. It's going to be going on for a while because I refuse to go faster than normal. I think the game can be fast enough without trying to fast forward through time. So, nestled in sheltered pockets across Orcam Fung 5A's surface, is a rich sludge of simple organic compounds that our researchers believe could be a hotbed for abiogenesis. Cool. The spontaneous formation of organic life from lifeless matter. Orcum 5A has an unusually thick atmosphere for a barren world, which could make it hospitable for simple life forms. Although this presents a unique opportunity to study what could be the early stages of the origin of life, it would be best to set our expectations low, as it may still be millions of years before life evolves naturally on the planet. Cool. So it just gives us society research. The mummified remains of a single individual belonging to a previously unknown mammalian species have been found drifting in high orbit over Mathula 6A. Being is dressed in what appears to be a flight suit complete with a helmet, and may be a fighter pilot that ejected in some ancient battle only to be forgotten and left behind. Our study of the corpse has provided some interesting data. Sad. A big sad. So, as I was saying, finish that there. Why don't you go here, research that anomaly. I like you. You're doing good work. Anomaly research is just fine for you.
Survey complete.
So now you surveyed that. Go all the way back over to where you were. And we'll continue just exploring. Yeah, this game, it's a long process of a game. And I love it for that, because you really do end up feeling like you're a part of a galactic society and a empire. I mean, empires don't grow overnight. It's only been, I really think it's only been 11 years. I'll have to check, but I think it's only been 11 years, 6 months, and now 10 days that we've been, fully spacefaring, conquering, or claiming other systems, mining their resources. This is a lot of expansion for, 11 years and 6 months. Ooh, we've met some alpha aliens. We've encountered some form of alien vessels in the Orcum system. These strange objects have been flagged as alpha aliens until we can learn more about them. Contact report. Enigmatic spacefarers. News of alien ships humming through the ether have reached Mighty Nest. In many ways, ending the first chapter in the book of the United-Jugger-Bird-Empire's bid for a stellar empire. He left. I was going to try and look and see what kind of ship it was. But yeah, so alpha aliens, that means that it's an actual, species. It's an actual race. So I can spend the 9 months to find out who they are. Likely that they'll figure out who I am first, because I don't really want to put my technology on hold. I could. I think we would, actually. I think we would try and figure out who they are.
Construction complete.
Make sure that they're not the species that we lost track of. Our original species. So, I think we'll take the time, the 9 months that it'll take to spend 500 society research to figure out who these people are, what they are, why they're in space. In some ways, I hope it takes us a little bit of time to find our home species, just so that way things aren't awkward. We can kind of develop our own way of doing things, make our own friends, and then kind of see your parents over there and you're like, oh, hey guys. That's my goal. Our edict to map the stars has ended.
Achieved.
I'm gonna hold off on restarting it though, since we only have the 100 influence. Our physical research has ended. It might not. Oh, sorry. This is my favorite research, automated exploration protocols, because it allows us, one, it increases survey speed by 25%. Nice, helpful, bit of it. It also allows the feature to automatic explore for our science vessels, which allows us to kind of set and forget, which is really nice. And I feel like when they hit the systems, they're a little bit more efficient with what they do there as well. So that's just something that I really enjoy. I think it's a fun tool, and I really just kind of make 3 to 4 science vessels, get automated exploration, and then just kind of set them off on their things. Once I've explored a lot of systems, I'll bring them home and use the feature assist research. And occasionally I'll do that just in general, but assisting research, just increasing the research on a planet is really nice as well. You can create planets that are entirely focused on just research, and then put one of the scientists in orbit and just really just kind of crank out a bunch of science, which is nice. Level 2 anomaly, go ahead and research that. We're almost done with this one. Let's see what this is about. I'm kind of curious. I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that there's a planet here. Or if that's just how it works. Maybe this planet will eventually get sucked in. Who knows? Alright, so we've claimed this system, so we can go ahead build the stations there. Peddling radiation. The readings picked up in the first system, picked up in this system. Let me try again to read this. The readings picked up in the system come, somewhat surprisingly, from Zorkan black hole itself. As black holes go, it is fairly small, which would account for some of the unexpected radiation leaking from its event horizon. Science Officer Boka believes the black hole is on its way to bleeding out and will eventually disappear entirely, though it is difficult to say whether this process would be complete before the heat death of the universe. Some gravitational upset in the hole's youth has rendered it to, quote Boka, wobbly, love that word, further increasing the flow of energy from its event horizon. Ooh, 9 physics research from that. So it being smaller would also explain why it has that, kind of, would explain why it has not consumed that planet yet, but... So yeah, I mean, we're making good progress, we're expanding, exploring, all that fun stuff. It's a, as I've said multiple times, it's a slow process. You can see our colony ship here. It's making its way. The ship design in this game is really cool. I don't really zoom in enough, but it's on its way to Hassela 3 here. We can go ahead. Bunch of things. Ancient life pod. Abandoned life pod is detected close in orbit around Mathula 5. Wasn't there another life pod? Must have been some big space battle here. It's covered in scorch marks, presumably from when the pod's mothership exploded, and preliminary scans suggest that it was built more than 5,000 years ago. The crew of the Zygmit managed to open the pod, revealing the withered remains of a reptilian alien clad in resplendent uniform. Clutched in one of its claws was a small picture of another individual from the same race, possibly a mate or revered leader. So, now we can pick a tradition. Finish out the discovery tree. So that's the last one, was there, faith and science. So Pops working with research have their upkeep reduced by 20%, which is nice. And then, because we finished our first tradition tree, we get an ascension perk, which is just really big perks that kind of let you, I guess, like work towards it being a specific species. And there's some that are locked, and some that require you to grab a different one or research something specific. And some that, go together. So, I think in the end, galactic force projection for sure is going to be something we get. But that requires 2 ascension perks to be selected first. So we can only get this as our 3rd perk. So that'll take some time. Defender of the Galaxy is an option. But again, that's 3 ascension perks picked first. Eternal Vigilance. We have to have Star Fortress technology. So the options we have: Shared Destiny, Transcendent Learning, Executive Vigor, Imperial Prerogative, Mastery of Nature, One Vision, Technological Ascendancy, Interstellar Dominion, and Nihilistic Acquisition. So I think, trying to think of what our species would do. And we're kind of approaching, I'd be at that time when I want to cut the video. So what I'm going to do, we're about to colonize this planet, we're about to pick this, so I'm going to call it here. I want to say that this is our cliffhanger for the episode, is what ascension perk, and then the name for our new colony. And essentially, if you have opinions, if you think, given what I talked about in the last video of trying to be that underdog, not underdog, attack dog was the word I was looking for. Join a federation to be the bruiser in the federation, the one that's like, oh yeah, you want to pick a fight with us? Well, you got to go through them. Them being the Jugger-Bird Empire. So, early on, there's not a whole lot of war-related ones. There's some stuff about growing and expanding. So, there's definitely options. But if you guys have any input onto that, I'd be glad to hear it. So, yeah, that's what we're going to call it today. Just waiting on colony ship to go there. We'll need to, or go here. We'll need to name that something -nest. Preferably one word, I think. Most is 3, I would say. Word -nest. Yeah, something to do with probably mining. Maybe include something about a swamp. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.